Hey, what's going on, guys? Got another video on the 2018 Subaru WRX. Going to be replacing the whole exhaust system, including the J-pipe slash downpipe. Okay, guys, so as you can see, going to be installing the Invidia system here. Show you the part numbers real quick. So you can see there's our downpipe, and that does include the cat, which is a high flow cat. So there's your part number for that. And then the system's going to be the Invidia as well, the Gemini black tip. There's your part number for that. I'll put a link in the description for this. And then also got the hardware kit as well for the turbo, because these have a tendency to break the studs or bolts, so it's always good just to get some new ones just in case they do snap on us. So let me go ahead and get this out of the box here and we'll get a closer look. Okay, so I got everything laid out here. As you can see, this is the J-pipe, and then also did get a gasket for the turbo to the J-pipe here from Grimspeed. And then here's all your hardware. You got a sticker there. You can see this is the high flow cat there. And then if we come over here, there's what the whole system looks like. And looks really good here, especially these black tips here you can see. And they got the Invidia design right there, high performance on the tips, the black tips there. And then you can also see the little logo right here as well, which you'll be able to see from underneath. So looks like a pretty good system here. Welds and everything look awesome. So let's go ahead and start getting this on and getting the old one off. All right, guys, so let's go ahead and start jacking this up. I'm here at the passenger front. I'm gonna grab my jack and go right underneath the pinch weld here, and then we'll put a jack stand. And you'll have to go pretty high on this. That way we can get up underneath the car and get all this exhaust system out. And then if you jack this up high enough, the back will actually jack up with it as well, and we can slip a jack stand under there as well. So I'll show you that real quick. So grab yourself a couple jack stands. Go ahead and slide that underneath there. And then if you take a look here, you can see it also lifts up the rear end here as well. So go ahead and grab a jack stand for back here. Now let's go ahead and lower it. Then we'll go ahead and do the same to the other side. Okay, so once you get it all jacked up, go ahead and crawl underneath here. And then, since I knew I was going to be putting this exhaust on, a few days ago I went ahead and removed both of the plastic shield and the aluminum one here. And what I've been doing twice a day is soaking these bolts here that go to the turbo and the J-pipe, because these are known to break, and then also the studs as well. So I've just been soaking those with PB Blaster the last few days here. Same with all the other bolts I'm going to be removing, and then also the hangers as well, and then these two O2 sensors. So what you want to do is just remove your the first one's going to be your plastic shield, which is this black one here. And what you got is just a bunch of clips. Same with underneath here. So go ahead and just unclip all those, and then you'll have two 12mm bolts which go in right here as well. So go ahead and remove those. Then you can drop down this skid plate. Once you get that one off, you're gonna have this aluminum one as well, which is gonna go under there like that. And then you'll have four 12mm bolts you need to remove as well. So go ahead and remove those, and then you can get your skid plate out of the way. But like I said, if you're gonna be doing this job, it's probably a safe idea, like I did, and just soak these for a few days just to make sure they're gonna come off. So I'm gonna go ahead and start out on the rear, but just while I'm under here again, go ahead and just spray these Let them soak a little more. The fourth one's way back up in there. Just kind of spray up in there. Same with the O2 sensors here. We'll just go ahead and let that soak and go ahead and start on the rear there. So I'm going to start out on the passenger rear tailpipe here. As you can see, this one already has a muffler delete on it. But you're going to have this is going to be a 14mm bolt, and then you got a 14mm nut. So let's go ahead and remove those two. And then come over to the driver's side, and you're going to have the same thing. And then before I go ahead and pull these out, let's go ahead and separate the mid pipe up there. So then go ahead and crawl underneath the driver's side here, and we'll go ahead and separate it here. So you got a 14mm bolt here, and this is going to be a 12mm nut. So let's go ahead and see if we can get these off of here. You can see that starts turning on me. Let's get your wrench on there. Okay, go ahead and pull those off. And even with me soaking these in PB Blast for the last few days, they're still really rusted here. So now let's see if we can just kind of separate that like that. And then we got a hanger down there, so let's go ahead and get that undone. So then just go ahead and scoot back a little bit, and you can see you got an exhaust hanger here back by your CV axles for the rear. And it's probably going to be easier to get it off the top one instead of this piece on the exhaust, and then we can go ahead and remove it from this piece. So go ahead and just try and pop that off of there. Might be a little hard, just watch your fingers. That just slides off. And we'll go ahead and bring this whole piece down. And then go ahead and slide that out of there. And then while we're back here, let's go ahead and remove our tailpipe, or if you guys got the muffler, it'd be your muffler. Same thing. Just kind of slide this out of one of these first. Whichever one's easiest. Sometimes you can spray PB Blaster in these as well. That'll help get you, help get them off as well. There we go. And then same with the other side here. Alright guys, so now the hard part here. So these are going to be 14mm nuts. I'm going to try and break these free first. If not, we may have to break the studs. So let's go ahead and try these 4 bolts first. You want to use a 6-point, not a 12-point on that, just in case these start slipping on you. And I got a 3/8 breaker bar. Let me go ahead and just see if I can break these bottom ones free first, and then we'll figure out how we're going to get these other ones off. I just want to see how hard this is going to be. So that was actually not bad at all, surprisingly. Let's try this one. Okay. So that one's moving as well. I don't know if, can't tell if it's just the nut or if the whole stud might be turning with it. But at least we got those two broken free. And this one up here is going to be harder because you got the O2 sensor in the way there. So let me go ahead and move my camera. Alright guys, so for this one, I can't really get a socket in there. I tried, even with an extension. So let me go ahead and see if we can get this oxygen sensor at least broken free here, and then maybe loosen and pull it out. And then maybe that'll give us better access. So take a 7/8 O2 sensor socket like this. Go ahead and slip that on there. Kind of like that. And let's go ahead and see if we can break that free. So that came nice and free at least. So let me go ahead and we'll undo it here, and then we'll also unplug it. That way this doesn't get all wrapped up, our wires here. So let me grab a pair of pliers. Grab yourself a pair of pliers. Let's just see if we can squeeze on these two tabs and pull that up. Just like that. And let me reposition my camera. We'll go ahead and unplug it. So then go ahead and unplug it. You can see it's this black plug right here. And there should be a tab. Get my arm up here. There should be a tab right on top, which you can push in and then just pull out. I gotta use both hands here though. That's what that looks like. And then let's go ahead and just unscrew this O2 sensor out the rest of the way here. So get that out. Alright guys, so I still can't get a socket on here because this heat shield here that's protecting the serpentine belt's getting in the way. So I'm going to see if I can remove this shield here. It looks like we got a couple bolts. So you got one right here, which I'm going to try to get from up top. And then there's one right up here, and that's going to be a 12mm. So what I'm going to do, see if I can grab a small extension like this. Let's see if I can get up in here with that. You can see it's right there. Let's see if I can break that one loose here. So there's that one. You can see that loosened it up a little bit. So let me go ahead and pop our hood. And I'll do this from the top side with a super long extension. And I think this one, so yeah, this one here is going to be a 14mm. So let's go ahead and do that. So then just stack up some long extensions. You can see it's that rusty bolt right there. 14mm. So let's go ahead and try and break that free. There's that. So then come back down here, and now you can see, so yeah, just those two bolts. And then you can pull this out of the way. All right, so now that we got a little more room, let's go ahead and try this one here. That one's a lot harder. Let's see if I can get a better grip here. break it free somewhat. Okay, so that one's loose. Now the hard part is getting that one out back there. So let me grab some extensions and see what we need to do to hopefully bring it out this way. All right guys, so I tried to stick a long extension through here, and I'm actually getting caught on that O2 sensor as well, the downstream one. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull that, but first let's go ahead and pull that ground wire there, because we need to remove that too. That's gonna be a 10 millimeter. So now let's go ahead and try to break free that O2 sensor as well, just like the last one. Get your socket on there. Get that latched on, and let's see if we can break it free here. So there's that one. Try to get this unstuck. Try and tighten it a little bit. This socket's stuck on there. There we go. So now we got it broken free. Let's go ahead and unplug it. So go ahead and unplug that. And then you should have, looks like a tab right here on the bottom. So if you can press in with your fingers. Doesn't want to come off. Let me see if I can get a flathead under here maybe to help kind of push that tab in, and then pull it off with the other side, other hand here. There we go. Plug it like that, and then spin this out. Looks like it's still kind of tight. And actually, let me just grab a 7/8 wrench. There's that one. Go ahead and take you a long extension with your 14 millimeter. And let's see if we can get up in here. You may need to add another extension to this one. You just take a look under here. Make sure you're on that nut all the way, because you don't want to slip off. And let's see if we can break this one free. As you're doing this, just watch your fingers here. You don't want to cut yourself on all these sharp edges here. So I'm going to kind of press in while I'm turning, just so that doesn't slip off. And let's see if we can break this one free. Let's see. So yeah, let me see if I can get some better leverage here. See if I can add one more extension maybe to this. So let's go and try this. Make sure you're on there. All right, cool. So I was able to get that one broke free. So I'm just gonna go ahead and pull this one off all the way now. And it looks like the whole stud came out with it. So get this out of here. So yeah, you can see. So the whole stud came out with the nut. So let's go ahead and get the rest of these out, and we'll see if the stud comes out with those. So yeah, it looks like same thing on this one. Whole stud came out with it. But it looks like on that one, just the nut came off. Just like that. All right guys, so it looks like we got one more bolt that I didn't see. So it's gonna be straight up here, a 14mm, and that will help us get this bracket off so we can pull the whole J-pipe out of here. So it's kind of hard for you guys to see, but it's gonna be straight up in here. And like I said, it's gonna be a 14mm as well. So let's go ahead and loosen that. We'll pull that out of there. So that's what that one looks like. So now with that one undone, you can see this bracket comes loose now. And then we'll be able to pull it off once we pull that J-pipe off of there. But before we do that, let's go ahead and we got one more hanger back down the way there. Let's go ahead and undo that. So then come underneath the driver's side door here, and you're gonna have a 14mm, which is pretty much another hanger here. So go ahead and take that off. And you can just kind of lift up on it, spring this back some, and that slips right over it. Go ahead and just kind of drop this down for right now. And then what you can do is we'll go ahead and you can see this bracket we can probably get out now. And slide that bracket out of there, get that out of the way. Now what we'll do is we'll just pull it out because we only got that one stud in there, and then it should just drop right down. Just be careful as you're doing this. Kind of like that. And you got your old gasket here we can pull off, and then we'll go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and pull that stud out, and we'll put our new studs in. So go ahead and pull that stud out, and that's going to be a Torx E10. So let's go ahead and see if we can get this out. There's that one. And then if you take a look here, so that bolt I was talking about, that 14mm that went straight up, that went right up into here. So now let's go ahead and get our new studs in. And like I said, I got this kit here. It's from Turbo XS. I'll put a link in the description for it. You can see it comes with new studs and everything. So let's go ahead and get those put in. So go ahead and screw those in, and you can see these ones don't have a Torx E10 on them. You just have to screw them in. But you do have a shorter and longer, and the shorter end's going to go on the turbo side there. So just go ahead and get all these in by hand until they stop. Then go ahead and grab your new gasket from Grimspeed. We'll go ahead and stick that on. And then before I go ahead and stick that gasket on, let me just make sure this is all cleaned up. Just kind of wipe it down there. Just like that. And then this is only going to go on one way. So it's going to go on there just like that. Get that pressed up against there. So now go ahead and grab your new J pipe along with your this bracket here, because we're going to stick our heat shield back on there. So go ahead and get this lifted up onto the bottom studs there. Grab your bracket here. Slide that over the top. Go ahead and get that the rest of the way on all the studs. Same with your bracket here. So just like that. Go ahead and grab some of your nuts here. Go ahead and get those on here. And then that one's kind of hard to get to. So let me go ahead and try my extension. And then these new nuts are actually going to be a 15 millimeter instead of a 14. Let's see if I can get this up in here. So now let's go ahead and get those snug. All right guys, so before I go ahead and snug up all these, I'm going to go ahead and get that bolt in really quick. Just get it up in there and started, because I don't want that bracket moving and everything. So I'll just get it started like that. Now let's go ahead and snug these up the rest of the way here. So I looked and I couldn't find any torque specs for these nuts here. So I'm just going to go ahead and we'll get them snug. And I'm going to do this top far one here first. Try to get my contraption set up here. So go ahead and tighten that one up. I'm just going to kind of go in a crisscross pattern just so that seats on there evenly. Once you get those tight, go ahead and grab your 14 millimeter. Let's go ahead and tighten that one back up all the way. Next, we can go ahead and get our O2 sensor, our upstream one. I went ahead and just put a little anti-seize on those threads. Go ahead and get that screwed in here. And before I tighten that, let's go ahead and get this top heat shield on first. Let's go ahead and grab this. This is gonna sit over top of this. Kind of like that. Grab your 12 millimeter bolt, which is gonna go up there. Try to get that started on there. And then I'm going to go up top and go ahead and stick that bolt through and tighten that one down. That's going to be the 14 millimeter. And then just grab your 7/8 wrench. Go ahead and get this O2 sensor snug the rest of the way. Put it out like that. And then you can go ahead and get this plug back in here. Actually, I'll plug it in up here first. Try to remember how that went in there. So the tab part goes towards the inside there. Make sure that snaps. Then you can go ahead and stick that back on your heat shield there. Take your downstream O2 sensor. Same thing, just put a little anti-seize on those threads. Go ahead and screw that in. Same thing, tighten that one up. And go ahead and plug that one in. Make sure that clicks. And now we can go ahead and do our ground wire as well while we're here. Go ahead and unscrew this nut here. Stick that on there. Tighten that down. And snug that up with your 10mm. And I'll actually hold it kind of right there as I tighten it so it doesn't move. Like that. So now you can go ahead and grab your next section here and go ahead and get this kind of up in place. We'll get our hanger bolt kind of up here and started. Just kind of keep that loose. Grab your gasket here. Kind of get that in place. Grab one of your bolts here. And let's go ahead and get this kind of lined up here. Turn that however you need to. Get your bolt through. Same with this one here. Go ahead and get those started so they don't come loose. Like I said, I'm going to leave all this stuff kind of just loose for now until we all get it together. And that way, if we need to make any adjustments, everything's still loose and we can do that. So let's get all those finger tight. So then you go ahead and just keep moving on. Went ahead and grabbed another jack stand, or if you got a box or something, it's nice to set that on so it's not sitting there hanging. We'll go ahead and get that kind of lined up. Go ahead and get this together here. Get your gasket put into place. And go ahead and get your bolts on. Next, we need to remove this factory hanger here. So go ahead and try and pry that off of there, like that. And then you go ahead and transfer that to your next piece here. Get that slid on there like that. So then go ahead and take your next piece, and you can go ahead and get your hanger hung up here. So go ahead and get that pushed on. This can be kind of a challenge getting them through there. There we go. Once you get that on, go ahead and get these two pieces together here. May have to make a little bit of adjustment here. Grab your gasket. And let's go ahead and get that on. And then you can go ahead and get your driver's side muffler and tailpipe in place here. Go ahead and get them through your hanger up there. Probably start out with this one up here. Get that through there. Then I'll do this one. Like that for now. And then we can go ahead and get our gasket on here. Same with the passenger side here. Do this one first. This one. And of course, same thing. Go ahead and get those through. Alright guys, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get the tailpipes the way I want them, and then I'll go ahead and start tightening all these down. But try to get these as even as possible, and then like I said, go ahead and get all these snug down. Same with the rest of them, and make sure your gasket's centered and everything, and you'll get all those tight. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm not going to record that because that's going to take quite a bit of time here. So let me go ahead and do that, and then I'll come back. Alright guys, so I got the tailpipes all lined up correctly and even, and then I went ahead and tightened everything up. Same with all the way up there, all the way up to the J pipe there. So we should be good. So now let's go ahead and move on to getting the skid plates back on. We'll go ahead and lower it, and then we'll see how it sounds. So go ahead and get your aluminum skid plate on first. That's going to be your 12mm bolt. Get those started, and then go ahead and tighten those up. Then go ahead and do your plastic one here. Get that in place. And then same thing, you got your two 12mm bolts that are going to go up in here. We'll go ahead and tighten those up, and then I'll go around, get all of our plastic clips pushed back in. Alright guys, so as you can see, got all the clips back in, and we should be good. So now let's go ahead and get our jack, and we'll go ahead and lower it. Alright guys, let's go ahead and see how it sounds. Alright, so that's going to be it for the video. Everything seems to be good. I just took this around the block really quick just to make sure no check engine lights are on, and everything seems to be running just fine. And this is my son-in-law's car, and he's actually going next week to have it retuned to compensate for the new exhaust. And then I also just got done doing a top mount intercooler with charge pipe from Cobb on this, and then a new aluminum turbo inlet and a 3-port boost control solenoid. So if you're interested in that, check that video out as well. But hopefully this video helps you out on the install of the Invidia J pipe along with the whole exhaust system. I'm pretty impressed how everything lined up. Super simple to do. Only thing I recommend is doing what I did. When you know you're going to be putting this on, just go ahead and soak those J pipe bolts and studs in PB Blaster or WD-40. Just go ahead and soak those for at least 3 days or so. Just come out and spray them, you know, twice a day or something. It really seems to help. And then another trick you can do as well is right before you're ready to take out those bolts or studs, just go ahead and start the car, let it run for a little bit. That way those start to heat up, or you can take a torch or something, that'll work as well. Just watch when you're using that torch around your serpentine belt and everything. So again, hopefully this helps you out, and if it does, why don't you hit that like button and then subscribe to the channel. And I should have more to come, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.